Yay! It's Mr. Nailsin's Sunday Comics. And gonna read two of this story, or comic book rather. Weird Terror. So Portrait of Death and the Invisible Curse. Because probably more than likely gonna be too busy to do a episode for next Sunday. So maybe I'll get one in, but it's iffy. So it's one of those situations. So, these things happen. But don't worry. You get two for today or something like that. A. Thompson. Hello, Doug. Hello, A. Thompson. All right. Here is our story. Yeah. Portrait of Death. All right. What mysterious creatures inhabit the air around us and the earth beneath our feet? Pat Carter, ace girl reporter, has a glimpse of them during one night of terror when she watches a mad artist complete a portrait of death. So I don't know. I guess she came posed to have her portrait done, And this is how he sees her. Yeah. Yeah. A purple, pointy-eared Gene Simmons with, I don't know, brain tumor or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, there he is. What is that? Looks like he's got his camera ready. I guess he expected her to do some porn, Whoa. Man. And she's a lot older than we thought, huh? I don't know what this is. Oh, wait, it's a door leading to some netherverse, I guess, and it's spilling blood or something. I don't know, goo all over the place, and that's its eyes. It's smoking eyes. You can't hide your smoking eyes. No, you cannot. A series of shocking murders rock an old New England city. Plus, another bloodless body was just found near the waterfront. I tell you, the killer ain't human. My granddaddy used to tell stories of. According to Guilford News, Ghoul kills third time. Meanwhile, the Herald Globe says, vampire killer strikes again. Heartland Courier just says police are baffled and, well, the back pages have got nothing. So anyway, News Hen. News Hen Pat Carter rushes to the latest murder scene and finds her fiance, Detective Jim Young, already there. Jim, is it? Hello, Pat. Yeah, the same thing. Victim dead. Drained of blood, no clues. It's so horrible, and that man with the satchel. I wonder if he has any connection. He's just walking by. There's really nothing but, whatever. Bye now, Jim. I have to get back and write my story. There goes a smart reporter. It's just possible she's got onto something we've missed. Let's follow her, Pete. Oh, I thought that was her fiance she was talking to. I mean, okay. 10 minutes later. Well, Miss Bloodhound, what are you doing here? Oh, it's her boyfriend again. Well, Miss Bloodhound, what are you doing here? Jim, you startled me. Can't a girl do a job by herself? But as long as you're here to listen to this, I followed a man carrying a satchel from the scene of the crime to this house, and guess whose place it is? I know. It's Eric Gilman's, the man who paints all the pictures of ogres and monsters. An interesting coincidence. Oh, stop! He wouldn't be the murderer.
probably just collecting local color. I'm going to interview him and get his views on the murders. And don't hang around to spoil my plans.
Okay, honey, I'll give you 15 minutes, and then I'm coming in. And a moment later, a reporter, eh? You were curious about my pictures, I suppose. Well, I can spare 10 minutes. Come in, will you please? If she doesn't come out on time, we're going after her. I don't like this place. I know what you mean. Self-portrait, I don't know. Meanwhile, inside the house,
Mr. Gilman, I've heard people ask how you get such lifelike feeling into your imaginary subjects. And no, I know what that you mean now, right? The K wasn't supposed to be there. And now I know what they mean.
imaginary. Who's to say these creatures do not exist?
Oh, please. You don't really believe.
Why not? Look at this one. Our ancestors believed in them, especially here in New England. The air and the earth were rumored to be full of ogres, gargoyles, and all sorts of weird beings.
Mr. Gilman, I really came to ask your opinion about
The time? I'm sorry, my dear. You must leave, please, immediately. Eager for a story, Pat stalls until...
And my readers would love to know. Oh, what was that?
I told you to go, you little fool. Thump, thump, thump.
All right, Mr. Gilman, I'll go.
What is she, sweating or something? Too late, my dear. Now you must stay. You came to learn a little about me. Now you will learn all. Come this way, my dear. I'll show you my private workroom.
But I'd rather not. Is he crazy? Well, I'll be darned if I'll scream like a silly fool.
There. Now you shall see things that no person of your generation has ever seen.
Oh my God, don't take your pants off.
What? No, not that.
Please, I want to go.
But you'll miss the show.
Mr. Gilman, why are you locking the door?
Look at that bricked over archway. It used to connect with the actual tunnels and sewers that our ancestors believed were inhabited by demons. See? Ha ha! I have a movie camera to record the actions of my models. And here on the easel is my latest subject. Now, are you beginning to understand?
Please, Mr. Gilman, unlock the door.
And last, but of most importance, the bait. Ah, yes, the bait.
The black bag. That's...
Right, it's blood. And now a mere push of the button. Ha 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 ha. And we discover that the archway still connects with the ancient tunnels.
Why, you're mad. You are the killer. What is... There's something...
Right. There's something. Watch closely. Uh-oh. Now you can see what the subjects of my paintings look like.
There's something on my tongue. I got something on my tongue. I don't have to wear clothes because my pubes are so thick they cover all my privates.
Because they are alive.
It can't be real. I'm dreaming.
Ew. So, I paint from life while the camera records every detail for the future.
Oh, please. Let me out of here, please.
Don't worry, my dear. I'm finished with this model and I'm getting rid of it. I get rid of all of them. This jar contains enough poison to kill an army. In 5 minutes, the stupid thing will be dead. Oh no! No! It understands! Who knew a demon could speak English? Out of my way, I'm getting out of here. Don't leave me, don't! Oh! Oh, he didn't finish the blood. Oh, that's, of course, even poison. No, don't touch me. That was a lie. There was no poison. Don't.
I'm going to.
No. What? At that moment upstairs. Well, the 15 minutes are. What was that? It came from below. There's the stairs. Come on. Aye. The door's locked. I'm going to. That's it. Shoot the lock off and we'll break in. There's something in that tunnel. This ought to stop it, whatever it is. What if it's your girlfriend? Anyway. But the vibrations of the shots are too much for the ancient masonry, and the whole wall collapsed. Now we'll never know what.
Jim, oh, Jim.
Pat, honey, are you all right? What happened?
Oh, Jim, it was awful. A huge monster came and...
Next day in Jim's office.
Jim, I tell you, I saw it. It was as real as...
Oh, come on, baby. You couldn't. You had a nightmare. Or maybe that crazy Gilman hypnotized you or something. It's a good thing we made sure you still had your panties. Well, here's the film from Gilman's camera. Let's run it off. Put it on and we'll see.
You'll see, all right.
And so a moment later...
Now do you believe me?
It is real.
Wow, Frankenstein's monster was a piker compared to that. This is where the monster understood about the poison.
Thank heavens he wasn't sorry, yo.
But what happened to Gilman? I don't know.
Oh, it was her. What happened to Gilman?
I don't know. I passed out. Maybe we'll see it now.
Starts eating him. This must be just before we came in, Pete.
Oh, I can't look.
At least we know what happened to Gilman. Oh, yeah, I guess the other guy. Enough, turn it off, Pete. Now listen to me, you two. Not a word of this must leak out. I'll report to the proper authorities, but the general public must know. We'd have panic in no time.
I understand, Jim. I promise. No stories. Can you imagine how people would feel if they knew that what monstrosities inhabit the very earth under their feet? Yeah, no shit. I mean, they might get out some other way. I mean, they blew up one door. I mean, they're huge. They could probably dig another way out now that they've gotten a taste for human blood. So, I mean, it just... Anyway, I know. How do they feel? Because I'm going to feel that way from now... Oh, yeah. I know how they'd feel because I'm going to feel that way from now on. The end. Oh, boy, we learned a powerful lesson, didn't we? Just look the other way and forget about it. As long as you ignore stuff, serious troubles like that, it should just, go away. How many watch hours left? I don't know. Chronos, Godwise, and high. Anything grotesque going on? Well, yeah. You see all that? You never know what's going to come creeping out of the sewer. It's best to keep the door shut on that, but, well. Of course, when it builds up and overflows, you're going to have to deal with it. They didn't call a plumber, though. They just blew it up, and this crazy old dude kept the film going. Was he really? There he is. He's, and, well, there's still pieces of him left, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, the whole footage showed the creature eating him, and
I don't know. I guess he turned them into monster poo for appropriately the sewers, you know? So in the end, everything kind of worked out, I guess. And so now on to the invisible curse. Wow. What do we have here? You can see right through that skirt. Yeah, that's the hell. Ew. What's she turning into? Well, whatever. Seething gypsy blood and a thirst for violent revenge flowed through the veins of beautiful Lucille Alessandro. But how was she to know that her dread family curse was easier to conjure than control? The invisible curse. Well, invisible curse is also one it's hard to see, you know. So I guess she really stepped in it, huh? Well, we'll find out. In a New York theatrical office.
I must get that part of Juliet. Mr. Miles will know I'm right for it. We seem to be in competition for the role, Lucille, but here he comes now.
The auditions are tomorrow, girls. The right girl will be designed to portray Shakespeare's Juliet. Good Lord, boy, she's Lucille Alessandro's determination to get the part is intense. I mean, look, she's blacking the top of her forehead, her nose, growing a mustache over it. Good Lord, it's terrible. That evening, when she returns to her room, she calls to her long deceased gypsy grandmother.
For this chance I've waited for, nothing must stand in my way. Grandma Tanya, I need your help. Oh, come to me now, dear grandmother. Provide me with guidance and a good omen. Come now, by the light of the moon.
And there she is.
You've come, Grandma. I need your help.
I heard your call, my dear, and you have nothing to fear.
Grandmother, you mean?
Yes, my child. The role of Juliet shall indeed be yours. Now I must depart.
One tooth left. Jeez, what happened to that man? Well, I don't know. She's probably dwelling in hell these days, so you know she could look a lot worse.
Oh, wonderful! I knew it. I'm going to be Shakespeare's Juliet.
At the audition the next day, Lucille recites her part confidently. Oh, confidently, yes, as if the task were a mere formality.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou run?
That's enough, Miss Alessandra. I'm sorry.
You're sorry, you fools! Nobody but Lucille Alessandro can portray Juliet. Your sorrow is yet to begin.
But Lucille, the rejected actress storms back to her room, brimming with venomous hate.
Gordon Miles and Karen Garnett, they'll live to regret the wrong they've done. Oh, grandmother, if you can hear me, come. Revenge! I must have my revenge on them. Grandmother Tanya,
I know, my dear, you have been wronged by those stupid idiots, but you shall have your revenge. You may use the invisible curse, but beware of its power, my child.
The invisible curse. Those blundering fools deserve nothing less.
They shall pay. Now I must leave you, my child. Have you forgotten that she's the one who promised you'd get the part? It's like, hey, what the hell? I thought you were like a powerful witch or something. You know? What's this all about? Nah, she doesn't notice at all. Anyway, armed with the dread invisible curse, which enters the Alessandro clan most potent weapon, the crazed actress returns to the office of Gordon Miles.
Why, Lucille, I didn't expect you.
Nor do you expect what's going to happen to you now, Gordon Miles. By my great ancestors, the curse of invisibility is on you.
What?
Having placed the fiendish curse upon the producer, the lust-ridden Lucille Alessandro gleefully watches its fantastic action.
My feet! They're... no! No! Stop it! Please!
The curse, Gordon Miles. You have earned it.
My throat! It's...
Dead and gone. Excellent. The curse of the Alessandros has vanquished him. Giggle, 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 tee hee, giggle.
It doesn't look like it turns him invisible. It looks like he boils away into gas. So, yeah. Gee, she only put cold cream on one cheek.
She's all kinds of messed up,
Anyway, cackling with delight, the perverted actress returns to her room.
What a fool Miles was to defy the power of the family curse. Revenge.
But as the poisonous lust warps her, it also infects her once beautiful body.
My superb beauty. It's gone. No matter. I'm still attractive enough. And now to deal with Karen Garnett.
Yeah, you see, there's a price to pay for your sorcery and all that. Anyway, she just barges in.
Lucille, I'm in my underwear. You're beautiful, Karen. Now look, I don't swing that way, but no more than I. The invisible curse is upon you. I shall play Juliet. Lucille, what have you done? My legs. No. I'm the curse, Karen. Goodbye, Juliet. Choking. I'm
Back in her room, the devilish woman gloats over her gruesome triumph. Good Lord. Yeah. Meth does take its toll.
The curse worked perfectly, grandmother. I thank you. Both these idiots are dead. And now to brush up on the role of Juliet, for there will be another audition following Karen's strange disappearance. Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Appear now, or I shall die. I'm as brilliant as ever. Now to act it out before my mirror. Ah! No, it cannot be me. Not the beautiful Lucille Alessandro. I'm ruined. It's all been for nothing. I'm hideous. I can never act again. A fine Juliet. They'd laugh me off the stage. I'm a better ghoul. The invisible curse. Look at me now. Grandmother Tanya, you're to blame. You meddling old fool.
Wild-eyed and hysterical with rage, her evil mind snaps completely.
I cannot go this way. Juliet dies in the play. If I couldn't live the role, I can still die similarly.
Ah! Oh well. And as Lucio Alessandro plunges to her death in the courtyard below, the fateful path of the invisible curse continues to plague her. The end. Doesn't look like it went that deep, though, does it? Huh. Well, I mean, she threw herself out the window to make sure she was like going to stab herself. Jeez, right in the boob there, But then she's like, I can't go any further. I know. I'll jump out the window. So I guess that's what she did. Yeah. So there you go. Portrait of Death. Oh, and the invisible curse. Yeah. Yep. Well, she really wanted the part, But on the other hand, she's really stupid. Uh, Kronos Godwisen, but her head is cute. What, the reporter girl? Yeah, I guess. Kronos Godwisen, we were looking for a Juliet without crazy eyes. Well, they're gonna have to find someone else entirely, because well, their producer melted and turned into gas, and so did the actress. So yeah, the producer's gone too. So I don't. There's no play left to even bother with. But again, uh, Lucille was mad with jealousy and just wasn't really paying attention to the consequences of her actions. No, she was not. Kronos Godwisen, with only one tooth, you'd think the reason she has the skull around her neck is to chew her food. Well, maybe that could be the deal. But again, we may never know. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, All right, I guess I'll talk about some DCU news or whatever. Yeah, DCU, that'll work. So in the meantime, I'll set that up because I wasn't prepared. I always get it in my head. Reading those stories will take longer. I'm wrong every time, but better luck next time, I suppose. Let's see here. There was a couple of little bits here. What was it? Oh yeah, this little thing. I want to do that. Yeah, okay. All right. Oh, well, maybe I'll put it here. Put this here. And we'll go like that. Because it's like this and like that. And, okay. Here we go. Here we go again. There we are. Did it show up? Oh, it did. All right. All right. Yeah. So anyway, there's been this business of Matt Reeves no longer directing the Batman Part 2 because there was some mishap of him no longer being listed as the director, I think, on IMDb or what have you. Anywho, I think Matt McClellan did an earlier article on this and pointed out that I forget that it had been that listing for a long time or something of that nature. I wasn't really all that curious about it. But then James Gunn steps in and says, yeah, it's all BS. He's still the director. So we'll see what the story is. So, yeah, he's going to, exactly as I said. Now James Gunn confirms that Matt Reeves is still directing the Batman #2. And he's surprised anyone even questioned it. Well, I know, but there's a lot of delays keep coming up, and they briefly touch upon there's some sort of personal issues in Matt Reeves' life, which would go a long way to explaining a good bit of it. I thought it had to do with waiting to see how the Penguin series did, and also waiting to see what Superman does. Superman bombs. This might cancel everything. I mean, and odds are is a Batman movie franchise would be the only thing that survives. But anyway, it could be a number of factors all at once. Anyway, following fans in various sites running wild with some supposed production listing for the Batman #2, not listing Matt Reeves as the director, just as Matt McClellan suggested. A fan questioned Gunn on Threads. Is Matt Reeves still directing the Batman Part #2? And so he says, yes. Huh? So he was unaware that there was anything. Of course, a handful of, YouTube videos, I guess, and some articles on it saying, hey, this is curious. But it all goes into the overall, a bit about it being delayed for so long and that sort of thing. And then, whisper, whatever was going on with Matt Reeves himself. That's really no one's business. I suppose you could put. But at the same time, it's like, hey, is this happening or not? So he says, yeah, it's still on. So the Batman #2, not canceled. Back in November of last year, Gunn also responded to fans who questioned about a false rumor Batman #2 had been canceled. So he said, why would you even believe a rando on social networking? Of course not. If it was canceled, it would be canceled. Who has time for charades? I've been one of Matt's biggest cheerleaders for years, since Cloverfield and the Apes movies. We are eagerly awaiting his script. Yeah. So what happened is this website, Production Weekly, posted a listing that supposedly shows the Batman Part 2 will be filming in March 2026. It lists dates, descriptions, and supposedly people involved with the movie. However, the listing doesn't have Matt Reeves as the director, only the writer. So various sites and fans ran with it that Matt Reeves isn't directing the Batman Part 2. Since the film has been seeing numerous delays and is known Reeves is going through a personal issue, fans and those sites just ran with it. Reeves is not directing. However, if you actually did a little homework, you would have found the Production Weekly listing is the same they posted from years ago, which, guess what? Also didn't bother to list a director. So it was all a misunderstanding, It's worth noting the site isn't anything official. Oh, I thought it was the IMDb. See, I got that wrong too. You see how that works? They've previously posted wrong info, and even James Gunn previously shot down their info regarding a Mr. Freeze movie happening and going into production. The site has also listed lots of other projects, most of which have been rumored as going into production are happening when they aren't or never have. So, yes, Matt Reeves is still directing the Batman Part 2. The latest is what he is currently finishing the script, which was just confirmed by the heads of WB Movies, Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi. But again, I think it also has to do with possible delays on, hey, the original script might not have had the Penguin so prominent in it. And with the success of the Penguin series, which was way better than the Batman film, you're going to want Penguin in it a lot. In fact, you probably should just do a Batman versus Penguin story. And maybe that's part of the deal, plus whatever is going on with Matt Reeves and his personal life and all that, fits in as well. So there you go. That's that on that. And, rumors abound. So, I mean, since it had so many failures as what McClone's listing there, my guess is they're more on the BS side than not. A lot of projects can be discussed and someone leaks it out and then it doesn't get the green light or it gets canceled sort of quietly. There's tons of announcements, licensing deals drawn up for potential films and whatnot, and then nothing ever comes of it. Could be that kind of thing. There's all kinds of DC properties they could be looking at to pursue further. But again, like I said at the outset, Superman bombs, all this goes away. Almost all of it. So anyway, yes, Peacemaker dropped their trailer, and it was interesting for quite a few things. So I'm not going to play it. You can go look for it. But this article should give the details. So the full trailer for Peacemaker season #2 is here, starring John Cena. Hey, he's the guy in the mask. Yeah. And everything is connected as it ties to James Gunn's Superman movie. Max has confirmed the Peacemaker season #2 premiere date Thursday, August 21st at 9 p.m. As promised, here's the full teaser trailer for Peacemaker season 2. The 11th Street Kids are back for a double dose of peace this August, posted Gunn on social media. Cena added on social media, so much peace coming your way. It's right. So the trailer kicks off with Chris Smith, a.k.a. Peacemaker, being questioned by Green Lantern. and Hawkgirl and Maxwell Lord, who all appear in Gunn's Superman movie. Wow, they're connected. It's been said Green Lantern Hawkgirl and Eddie Cathegi, or Eddie Cathegi, I guess, Mr. Terrific, work for Lord, and their team name is the Justice Gang. Yeah. We've also heard rumors that Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor from Superman will be appearing in Peacemaker season number 2. As to explain his skills, Chris calls himself the finest marksman in the world and says he's proficient in hand-to-hand combat. Hawkgirl isn't impressed. Microphone is off, she mutters, and Lord's voice cuts in with, "This guy sucks." But the microphone is still on, so he hears it and all that. Season number 2 picks up with Peacemaker trying to deal with his past while sticking to his mission, fighting evil in the name of peace. It's still a solo job, mostly, just with backup now. Returning cast members, of course, Daniel Brooks, Jennifer Holland, Freddie Stroma, Stephen Egg, and Robert Patrick. New faces joining this season include Frank Grillo, who reprises as Rick Flag Sr. from Creature Commandos, and, you guessed it, Superman, and David Denham, Saul Rodriguez, and Tim Meadows. Well, they'll be there too. Behind the scenes, Gunn wrote all 8 episodes and directed 3, including the season premiere. He also executive produces the show alongside Peter Safran and John Cena. Directors this season also include Greg Mottola. That does sound kind of familiar. Peter Sollett and Althea Jones. Yeah, I don't know. Peacemaker is produced by Gunn's Troll Court Entertainment and Safran Company in partnership with Warner Brothers Television. Well, there you go. You're all caught up. He doesn't deal with... Damn it, I thought it would. Well, let me tell you what happens. At the very end, his dad, if you saw the first season, has that pocket dimension in his house. So Peacemaker goes in there, and the whole cast ends up there from some of the scenes. And then there's a scene where Peacemaker opens a door, and he's in some other house, and it's all different, but it has all these trophies on the wall. It turns out it's the home of another Peacemaker, which you can't help but wonder if this is a nod to the fact that he's leaving the old DCEU iteration of the DC characters and walking into the DCU, which James Gunn is, creating with Superman and all that. And it could be a means by which they explain it, because in last season it ended where the Justice League showed up at the end. Really just Aquaman and the Flash, but you had the other heroes in silhouette and all that. But, and it's like, oh, they're just going to pretend that didn't happen or whatever. But here it looks like they're just going to say he crossed over and I guess probably kills the Peacemaker of the DCU and takes his place. Some crap like that, and it might be what it is. Or it's a bait and switch and he's just dreaming it or some bullshit like that, which would be unfortunate. But it could be. So now it's the kind of thing that's like, but if it doesn't really do enough for the people that are still bummed out about the DCEU getting canceled, then it could enrage them even more. But life goes on, Peacemaker was a fun show, so hopefully this one will be fun too. Whether it answers questions about all that, we'll see. But this wasn't a Matt McCloy article. Anyway, there you go. Peacemaker, season number 2. And finally, well, this is an interesting little thing. DCEU flop becomes surprise home entertainment winner. With the image, it seems to indicate that, I think you're talking more about the Aquaman movie, that the theatrical Justice League is doing well on home entertainment. Or I will see here, despite not performing well at the box office, it has been learned that this DCEU bust has become a big hit in the home entertainment market. The movie? DCEU's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, starring Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson. It's kind of weird. Momoa's going to be Lobo in the new DCU. He'll show up in the Supergirl movie. And that's the role he should have always been cast as. Meanwhile, you got Patrick Wilson looking like Aquaman. So maybe they should just call him up and cast him as their new Aquaman, Anywho, yeah, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom did nowhere near as good as the first one. And I think it was, well, we'll get into the article. I'll talk about it. On Wednesday, Warner Brothers Discovery released its quarterly investor report and named Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom in the report. WBD described Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and Wonka as having robust performance in their home entertainment division in the year prior. The decrease in home entertainment revenue was primarily due to the robust performance of Wonka and Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom the prior year. So, yeah, well, what it means is that Wonka and Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom had strong home entertainment performance in the previous year. But this year, WBD had no comparable titles to match those revenue levels. So that's the deal. So they can't help but notice the significant bump that they got out of it. So in short, Aquaman number 2 didn't flop in the home release space. It actually helped last year's numbers look better than this year's. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom had a massive budget of $215 million plus marketing. So you could probably tack on another 100 million, So as it only brought in 439.3 million worldwide, it's definitely a flop. It's also in stark contrast to the first film released in 2018, which brought in over 1.1 billion at the box office. The critic reactions are also opposite as well. The 2018 Aquaman had at least a positive Rotten Tomatoes score, 66% from critics. The sequel, released 5 years later, has a critic score of only 33%. But what is interesting, and where it counts, is that the fan score is higher at 79% than the first film's 72%. It's worth noting that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom marked the last entry in the DCEU. It also followed the 5 consecutive DCEU bombs of Blue Beetle, The Flash, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Black Adam, and the Suicide Squad. All right. Blue Beetle, no one knew. It's actually not that bad of a movie. It's kind of fun and cute and stuff, but nobody knows who that is. The Flash just had all kinds of problems. It was butchered 3 times over. It had 3 different directions, and the one they finally did, they didn't even finish the visual effects and all that. And its star was Ezra Miller, who had all those really horrible scandals going on, And then, after the movie came and went, Bond went down the commode, and everyone doesn't talk about Ezra anymore, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Well, that's another one that wasn't really all that bad. Again, it had a tacked on ending that looked unfinished because Warner Brothers is out of money. But also, it wasn't anywhere near as good as the first one. But it wasn't really all that. Black Adam was kind of silly and stuff, but it actually was on par, money-wise with Aquaman, which is interesting because Aquaman, Lost Kingdom, the second one, had access to the Chinese market, whereas Black Adam didn't. So, there's that. Suicide Squad, which is much earlier than the run of these movies, but it was still kind of in the lagging latter days of the whole COVID lockdown situation. So some of that, and but it wasn't bad. It was actually pretty good too. That's the thing. The Flash is at the bottom of this batch, but one of the main things the DCEU before these movies came out, with the exception of Black Adam and Suicide Squad, everyone knew the DCEU was over. You know, and then people, that business of saying Henry Cavill's back after Black Adam, and then less than a month later they said, "Well, no, he's not." It really pooped the bed a lot for the overall franchise of a shared universe entity. So, in short, fans knew the DCEU was coming to a close, so Aquaman the Lost Kingdom didn't matter as much. And coupled with a string of DC failures, fans didn't bother showing up in theaters. However, according to Warner Bros. Discovery, the fans showed up in digital and home entertainment, which is a good sign for fan favorite star Jason Momoa, who is set to return in James Gunn's DCU as Lobo. Yeah. So he goes on about how he's all hyped for it because Lobo rides motorcycles, smokes cigars, and drinks Guinness, and has dreadlocks. Well, yeah, he's all ready to go. So there you go. Yeah. Supergirl. So Momoa's on a good ride of popular films. The Minecraft thing did well. So things are looking just dandy for Momoa. So there you have it. Why he chose this, I don't know. Should have been the Aquaman poster, but but anyway, it's an interesting thing. And it also speaks to the market they used to have, that they went out of their way overall entertainment to get rid of physical media, and yet it plays a vital role here, but it's less arbitrarily diminished. But of course, they can have digital rentals and that sort of thing, and what have you. But it's something to consider, but I doubt it will be. But it came through for him in that year, and it was a significant marker to look at. But anyway, we'll see how James Gunn does, and should he fail, basically, I suspect Batman movies and nothing else, if anything. Yeah. Kronos Godwisen, there might be too many characters in the Superman movie. There are. Yeah, they could use Peacemaker to flesh out what's going on with them. Yeah, that would be the better approach. I would have rather they not. They should have gone with a straight up Superman movie, limit the cast to just, him, the Daily Planet Lois, and, Lex Luthor and that sort of thing, and leave it at that. You could have little news snippets here and there about there's other superheroes or whatever you want to do like that. And then other projects would bring, especially like a TV series like Peacemaker, could add in a few more. And then you got the Lanterns thing coming, which the Guy Gardner Green Lantern is supposed to be in that as well. And you could flesh those out more that way. But it's kind of this all done at the outset. It's similar to what they tried to do initially. They went from Man of Steel into Batman versus Superman, which was damn near a Justice League movie unto itself. And it was only the second film they'd done. So, and it's strange. And a lot about the Superman movie sounds like the plot of Batman versus Superman. As Superman gets blackmailed or framed and by Lex Luthor in both movies, It's just there's no Batman in it. So I guess that's the only difference. Anyway, A. Thompson, I was on Clown Town, but the host passed out. Is everyone just doing that now? Yeah. I mean, I guess Karmic, he never passed out. So, but it was not from want of trying. Then there was that lady on Fox News who passed out. Yeah. A. Thompson, task confession tonight? Confession about what? Oh, you mean she's an artist? She is. She does draw. That does happen. I've actually seen it happen several times. So there's no point in denying it anymore. She draws pictures. Well, damn, I was hoping I could get a full hour, but it's not gonna happen unless, let's see, what other stories do they have here? Oh, the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is another one. Now I watched the pitch meeting take on the plot and everything, and no, stupid. Go back to it. Because I was thinking, well, I've seen worse. It's probably the best of the terrible Marvel movies of late. But then I watched the pitch meeting. I was like, oh yeah, that was stupid. Yeah, this was stupid. But again, nowhere as near as irritating as some of the really god awful Marvel movies they've done of late. There was still, you would have these moments in it. There was some amount of serious drama, and then a joke would pop in because that's typical of Marvel. But after sitting through Thor: Love and Thunder, that had so many jokes crammed into it with a very serious plot that could have worked, could have been a pretty good Thor movie, but it just didn't have room to breathe because just every 5 seconds another stupid joke. So let's see. I don't care about Snow White, Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum. All right, I'll look at that. Warner Bros. Has officially set a December 17th, 2027 release date for The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum. Andy Serkis returns to direct. Really? And reprise his motion capture role as Gollum. That ought to be a crazy thing to do. Marking the franchise's first live-action film in over a decade. Lord of the Rings and Hobbit trilogies all launched in December, and this new film follows suit. The December 2027 slot positions Gollum for another big Christmas box office run. Combined, the previous 6 films earned $2.9 billion globally. See, that's what he really looked like. He didn't look like that. He looked like this. Andy Serkis, who has played Gollum since 2002's The Two Towers, 2. It's once again leading the project both in front and, is once again. Sorry, Andy. The project both in front and behind the camera. His past directing credits include Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Well, yeah, that wasn't that great of a movie. And Mowgli, the Gremlins, Legend of the Jungle, is that Mowgli? I don't know. The film was originally planned for 2026, but has been delayed 1 year. In the official announcement back in May of last year, Serkis teased, "Yes, precious. The time has come once more to venture into the unknown with my dear friends, the extraordinary and incomparable guardians of Middle Earth, Peter, Fran, and Philippa, with Mike DeLuca and Pan Abdi, and the Warner Brothers team on the quest as well, alongside Weta and our filmmaking family in New Zealand. It's just all too delicious." So there you go. There's the good old days. Yeah. Peter Jackson, along with longtime collaborators Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens, is producing The Hunt for Gollum. Warner Brothers notes that Jackson's team will be involved every step of the way. Boyens recently told Empire the story takes place after Bilbo's birthday party and before the events in Moria, calling it an intense, untold part of the Lord of the Rings timeline focused on Gollum's perspective. Yeah, the problem is we know what becomes of Gollum, I don't know if there's much here to get it. You're going to stretch it out like you did the Hobbit movies, which really you didn't have enough material there for 3. This is where, the ring wraiths hunt down Gollum and then they torture him in Mordor. Yeah. Um, but, well, they say it's an honor to work on it and all that. They did this cartoon, but it wasn't that great. But odds are they can't do worse than Rings of Power. So no official cast announcement has been made, but original trilogy actors like Ian McKellen, Orlando Bloom, and Viggo Mortensen have all said they're open to returning if the story fits. Yeah, I guess so. The last theatrical release was the animated War of Rohirrim in 2024, which didn't go over too well. Yeah. And it's said to be from a previous executive regime at Warner Bros. Oh, so they're just going to say, hey, it wasn't us. It's those other guys, those idiots we replaced. So I don't know. See, the missed opportunity for what Amazon was trying to do is you just tell the Lord of the Rings story. So I guess they couldn't with what the deal they got. They basically spent over $1 billion or maybe more than that just to have access to the title and then make up a story that takes place, before Sauron gets defeated and his finger chopped off and they get his ring and all that. But really, it was an opportunity to go into the entirety of the Lord of the Rings books, and you can, because the movies just it took too long to tell all of that. So they told what they could do, the main points and what have you. But a lot of elements of Lord of the Rings could be explored and in a streaming series. But they didn't do that. And so, and I guess the way the deal is set up, Warner Brothers can make movies, but maybe they can't do a streaming and or television series. So it's just kind of locked, So but they're desperate to, they're pumping DC as a brand that they hope can generate a lot of income. Lord of the Rings, another one, but it's already done. They're not going to top those movies, but they're going to try to revisit it. I don't think you'll get much from that. It might be okay, but I don't think it'll recapture what those films achieved. And then there's Harry Potter, which is going to do a series, and the same idea that I'm suggesting which should be done, which they're going to go through the books and capture more of the stories that didn't make it to the films because, the time constraints. But right out the gate, they're race swapping one of the major characters. So I think that's just a stupid move. And it's just, why can't you read the room? They just can't. So, boy, Superman really better do good. And I don't mean good. I mean perfect. And I don't think that's really possible. It's that's just too bad. What else was I going to look at? I don't really. Brie Larson's back. Oh boy. Wasn't there something else I thought about? I don't know. Was it up here? Thunderbolt. Oh yeah, this guy's gonna be the director. He's the Thunderbolts director, but they're looking at him to reboot the X-Men. So the news comes via Deadline. It says Shredder is in early talks for X-Men. The film will be released following Avengers Secret Wars, as Feige previously confirmed a new age of mutants follows the film. When Deadline spins BS that Thunderbolts is a big success. Yeah, it was that. So, all right. Maybe he was in talks and they're looking at him. But this could be the same thing as Muschietti being in line to do the DCU Batman film. which may or may not still be the case, since he gets the blame for the Flash failure, even though a really good case can be made. It's not his fault. Here, for this guy, Thunderbolts flopping. Well, Thunderbolts was not the type of film that was ever going to be a major hit in the MCU, but it should have done a lot better than it did. But the problem is the MCU is not healthy. If it were healthy and you didn't have a couple of years of, turds, which they had, then it would have done a lot better, But that's the thing. They're now in a position where the movies have to be damn near perfect. And that's it's just not happening. This is like the Fantastic Four movie. I don't think so. Is there enough excitement for it, for people and the curiosity to just show up in droves for its opening weekend? I'm not sure they can even do that. So, this guy is probably going to take the blame, and it in a lot of ways it could be unfair, but them's the business. Comic Creator React update: Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld chimed in on it, suggesting high-profile names passed on Feige's X-Men. Yeah, the lure of MCU doesn't have the sheen it once did. Used to be everybody was falling over themselves to get a Marvel gig. Oh, that's not the case now. So legendary comic book writer Mark Miller, who wrote Old Man Logan and lots more, also replied, Fox did a phenomenal job with those movies in terms of casting, writing, and directing. Who could top Jackman, McKellen, or Fassbender? I honestly think it's a poison challenge to take this stuff on. It just can't be matched. Yeah, but it's a property they're going to have to keep resurrecting. They could try to approach it like James Bond or the Batman movies. There's been a lot of Batman. There's Henry Cavill. The only other actor to play Wolverine besides Hugh Jackman. He got that one scene in Deadpool. Does that mean he's the new Wolverine? Probably not. So, now look, some of the X-Men movies were pretty bad. A couple of them. But most not bad. This one was pretty good. And the First Class one they did was pretty good. And then I didn't mind the first three movies they did, even though it was far afield from the X-Men story and stuff like that. But that last one, Dark Phoenix, they did. Yeah, that was bad. The Wolverine movies, they were sort of okay. And of course, the last one, which really is kind of like a pretty good, coda for the whole X-Men run that they did. But anywho, it was once a great property. It was on par with Spider-Man for Marvel, but that's really not the case lately. They've done a lot of stupid crap with it in the comics, and that built-in fandom for it, I just don't think is there like it was in the early 2000s. So there are consequences for stuff like that. A. Thompson says, I'm here. Well, I know. A. Thompson just read the local police blotter, Crimes in L.A. are fun. A. Thompson, they have Thunderbolts in IMAX here. I was going to see it. Well, look, it's not bad. It's just not great. So, but compared to the latest Marvel movie, it's a lot better than the Captain America one. There's some things in there that's like, now why would they do this? And what, this is stupid. And a lot of people were complaining about the ending, about how it ends with, the group hug and whatnot. But the point of it is there was no other way for them to win this. So it's at least that, some of the stuff is so stupid over the top in some of these movies, but this one, I'm like, that's the only option they had. Yeah. Kronos Godwisen, somehow Gollum comes back. No, I don't think he's not coming back. It's consider it a prequel. Yeah. A prequel of sorts. Kronos Godwisen, this will be the Andor of Lord of the Rings. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. St. Ranger, hi, St. Ranger. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. That's true. Um, uh, do give your mother good wishes today on Mother's Day. Yeah, yeah. That's what Mother's Day is for. You should do it as much as possible, but there is an official day for it. Turns out that's today. Yeah, yeah. All right, there we go. I made my hour. Oh, geez, thank God. So now I can bring the show to a close and hopefully get another one in sometime soon. Not entirely certain when, but that's the thought. That's the thought, and hopefully I'll get to it sooner rather than later. So thanks for watching and hanging out, and we'll do it again hopefully sometime soon, and I'll talk to you then.